Hi, everyone, and welcome to StudioJake. I, of course, am your host, Jacob Airy. Thank you so much for joining me. Be sure to like this video, share it out, leave me a comment, tell me what you think, and, of course, subscribe. I would really appreciate it. So, today, I'm going to be talking about my top 10 favorite films, best films of 2022. Now, it's no secret that I thought that 2022 was kind of a desert when it came to cinema. It was so bad that at one point I considered only making this list five, but uh, it ended up some cream rose to the top. Now, you can debate these movies with me. I welcome it, but just for me, of the films I watched, the trailers that I was interested in, the ones that genuinely brought, a smile to my face, left me feeling like I was entertained or enthralled. This is that list, and as such, I'm going to give you my top 10 best films of 2022. So, up first, at number 10, we have The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent. This, is, of course, was the Nick Cage film where he played himself. He gets hired to go to the birthday party of a superfan played by Pedro Pascal. And it was a hilarious romp. I laughed all the way through it. Sure, it was a little bizarre, but I think that was the point of it. And also, I applaud Nick Cage for being a good sport about it, because it really ended up being a really good time. So, number 9, we have Weird, the Al Yankovic story, where Daniel Radcliffe, of course, plays Weird Al, the singer who does all kinds of hilarious parody songs. So this is a hilarious parody, and it's not just about the pop culture icon of Weird Al. It also kind of makes fun of musical biopics. It hits up on all the tropes. It hits all the right notes, and honestly, the climax rocked. It was really satisfying how they made the movie end. You've got to watch it, and there's a post credit scene. It's pretty hilarious. It was only available on the Roku channel, so if you have a friend who has Roku, call them up and see if you can get them to watch this movie with you. So, all right. So, number 8. This would be Hustle. It's an Adam Sandler movie that proves his acting chops. He delivers a slam dunk, pun intended, of an underdog story. It is one that you won't miss. I was surprised by this movie. I actually was not expecting it to be as good as it was, but it definitely was really great. I loved it. I think it's good. I think it got way less attention than it should have. That's just my personal opinion, but I thought all of the performances were really good, and it really brought home its whole story. So, number 7, RRR, which is, of course, Rise, Roar, Revolt. And it's the type of film that Hollywood is afraid to make. There is very little political pandering in this movie. The male and what I mean by they're afraid to make it is the two main characters. They are platonic friends. There's not a hint of any sort of romantical entanglement. They're very masculine, strong enough to take on an entire army multiple times. The women are beautiful and feminine, and yet they're strong. They have really good, strong personalities. And also, I like it because it celebrates the culture and tradition, and it shows the audience a darn good time. Now, some people have accused this movie of being political because it really makes the British look bad. I'll be honest, I'm not an expert in history, in that part of the world, I should say. So, you know what? It could very well be. I have no idea. But I will say this, that as a movie, if I'm just looking at it as a movie, I had a roaring good time. Rise, Roar, Revolt. I'm with it all the way. I hope it wins Best Foreign Film at the Academy Awards. Like, that's how much I liked it. So, we're up to number 6, which is The Northman. So this flick is a story of brutal revenge, and it pulls you into it from the beginning to the end. The performances, the plot, the Viking action, it just rounded up to being a really great film. I mean, I loved it. It was not, again, it was not woke. It was not political pandering. They took the story. My understanding is it's based on an actual Viking myth, or at least brought in a lot of Viking mythology to tell the story. It was brutal. It was tough. It was unyielding, and it did not hold back. And that's something that I really appreciated about the film. I thought it was great. The visuals in it are just amazing. There were a few scenes that I thought were kind of a little too dark, which it's a dark story, but you know, there's this one shot where it's one continuous shot of the main character where he becomes a berserker for another Viking clan or for a Viking clan, and it just shows them attack this one village in a long continuous shot, and it was very impressive. I loved it. All right, number 5, Jujutsu Kaisen Zero. So this is an anime film, and it works as a standalone film, but also part of the TV show which it's based on, which is just Jujutsu Kaisen. It serves as a prequel to it. It brings in a fan favorite character who hadn't been seen in the anime yet. Now, I will say it was a little creepy because part of the, if you're unfamiliar with Jujutsu Kaisen, it's about the secret group of people operating in modern times, and they're trying to eliminate these sort of demonic creatures called curses. And Jujutsu Kaisen Zero is about this one of the antagonists of the show. He's raising an army of curses, and so the Jujutsu Kaisen agents, they have to have a battle with him, and one character who has a cursed spirit that kind of follows him around. So highly recommend it. The artwork in it is amazing. It's stunning. It's beautiful, and the action is pretty cool. So number 4, The Batman. It's an excellent movie that fans can enjoy and appreciate. Robert Pattinson, I'll eat crow. I didn't think he could pull it off, but he did. He throws himself into the role of the Dark Knight, and I also like Paul Dano as the Riddler. He was terrifying, and both of these factors keep you enthralled, keeps you hooked into the plot. Some people said it felt like they had one too many endings. I disagree with that. I think it went along fine. Now, there were some issues with the movie, but I think that the good stuff propelled it past all that, and that's why it's in my top 5, right? We're in the top 5. I really enjoyed it as a Batman fan. So we're down to the top 3. So number 3 is Everything Everywhere All at Once. The plot has this amazing redeeming message buried in its bizarre and absurd story. The amazing performances and the overall story make it one incredible tale. It's about this woman who finds out that in another dimension her daughter has turned evil, and that she's trying to bring sort of the dimensions together, and it relies a lot on absurdist comedy. Some of the dimensions they go to are just outright bizarre, but I still enjoyed it. I thought it was fun. I thought it was engaging, and I had a great time. It's such a redeeming movie. All right, number 2, All Quiet on the Western Front. Sure, it is a beautiful film, but be warned, it's brutal. It explores the harsh reality of war, which, of course, the novel that it's based on does as well. It doesn't glorify its violence, and it is a reminder of that. It is a reminder that these are humans who are fighting in war. And, of course, for those of you unfamiliar, All Quiet on the Western Front is about the final trench warfare battles that are leading up to the armistice that ended World War I. Watch it in its original German. Netflix has a dubbed version in English. It's terrible. Just watch it in the original language. Just do the subtitles. It's worth it, I promise. All right, number 1. Here we go. Number one takes us to the danger zone. We are going with Top Gun Maverick as the best movie of the year. If it gets snubbed at the Oscars, which it probably will, because the Oscars, they don't care about art anymore. They care, which they kind of always did, but there was some crossover at least. Nowadays, the Oscars are all about patting each other on the back, so it would not surprise me if Top Gun Maverick got ignored like it did at the Golden Globes. But listen, Tom Cruise, whatever you want to say about his personal life, the guy is a nut. He is the last movie star. He is the last person that people will actually turn out to see in a movie, and he brings us a thrill rise, and it returns us to that sort of world that he and Val Kilmer created in the first Top Gun film. I had such a good experience watching it, and I have no doubt it'll bring memories. It'll bring up old memories from people who watched the old one, and it'll usher in new ones. It's a movie that hit on everything. It's got a killer soundtrack, and I have to applaud Lady Gaga, who co-wrote the main song for the film and performed it. She did an excellent job. So those are my top 10 best movies of 2022. Let me know, do you agree with some? Do you disagree with others? Please let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear. In part 2, we will discuss the movies that I thought were the worst of 2022. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope that you'll give it a thumbs up, that you'll leave me a comment and tell me what you think, that you'll share it out with your friends, and of course, consider subscribing to StudioJake. I cover all kinds of nerd and pop culture topics, including film, television, anime, comic books, and so much more. I hope that you'll also head over to my main website, StudioJakeMedia.com, where I have even more news, views, and commentary. Also, if you'd like to support the channel, head over to my locals page. That's studiojakemedia.locals.com. It's the best way to support me. I'm trying to build a little community there. I have exclusive reviews and articles, so definitely head over there and check it out. And I'll see you next time right here on Studio Jake.